day guys, welcome back to Divion tutorial. So today we'll be talking about vectors addition. Remember, we said vector quantities are quantities that have both magnitude and direction. So if you have not watched our previous video, go back to watch our video on dimensions and motion. We have discussed extensively on vector, but now we want to show you how to add vectors. So for the first point here, the first rule of addition for vector is when two forces are acting in the same direction. For instance, you see 90 force is acting in this direction, 15 force is also acting in this direction. How do we calculate the total force? We calculate the total force by adding the two forces together. Take note, when both of them are in the same direction. But when the two forces are in opposite direction, the resultant force is what? Oh my god, what was I smoking or what? I'm just kidding. That is 90 minus 50 equals to 40 Newton. Yeah, so you subtract. Take note, the same direction plus opposite direction, subtract. Then we have another one. Two forces acting perpendicularly. Perpendicularly means anytime you hear the word perpendicular, it means a triangle that is right angle or 90 degree. So this is what it means when two forces are right perpendicular, something like this. This and what? This. Let me draw it again. This is what we call perpendicular. Anytime you see this sign, you know that it's talking about 90 degree. So this is force 1, this is force 2. To calculate the resultant, we have to introduce what we call, you know this, if you attended good secondary school and primary school, they could have taught you guys what they call Pythagoras theorem. So what is this? This is what? The hypotenuse. Are you getting it? So how do we get, this is the resultant here. We say this resultant is the square root of f1 square plus f2 square. Are you getting it? So how do we get this? I just write this formula here so that once you know it, you will solve immediately, because JAMB, there is no time. You get it. You need to be very smart. So once they ask you to calculate the resultant of two forces that is perpendicular, you just put resultant force is equals to square root f1 square plus f2 square. So how do we get it? Let me just show you, because people like explanation, even though when you don't need it, you just need to be smart. So sorry, you can just say hypotenuse square equals to what? Opposite square plus adjacent square. So what is hypotenuse in this question? You can say arrow square equals to f1 square plus f2 square. So to get your arrow, you square root both sides. Square root f1 square plus f2 square. This is how we get it here. So all this one does not really concern you. Then the direction, if you want to get the direction is this angle here. You see the resultant force start from this place. So this place is the direction of the vector. It's tan arctan. They call it arctan. Arctan means, for instance, if you have tan 45 equals to 1, so arctan 1, that is tan, will be what? Arctan 1, sorry, will be 45. It means anything, let me just explain it this way. If tan 45 is this, the arctan of this is this. So it means like opposite, or how will I use this word? Like, for instance, if they say the square root of, if the square of 2 is 4, then the square root of 4 is 2. That's how it is. If the tan 45 is 1, then the arctan of 1 is what? 45. Do you get it? So how do we get this one now? If you also attended a good secondary school, I'm just joking, you should know this one too. Hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. So oh, this biro. So twa. So what is this? Remember, I told you that this is now our new degree. Like I said, this is our what? Sorry. This is our resultant. Our resultant is our what? Hypotenuse. You get it? So then we have our adjacent. I'm sorry, I'm having some cough. Let me pause this video. Yeah, so Sokatwa. Then let me just say here, this place is vertical, F1. This place is also vertical, and this place is also horizontal. So these are our hypotenuse. Like I said before, our hypotenuse is the longest part. You know those things. Then these are our opposite. Anyone facing the angle is the opposite. Then this is the adjacent. So we are looking for this one. We have this one. We have this one. So which one are we going to take? We are going to take twa, because we can easily get it from opposite, the one facing the angle, over adjacent. So that's how they get the direction is tan arc F1 over F2. So this one is for perpendicular. Take note of this formula. All this thing I say here, you don't even need it actually in JAMB. This is the only thing you need. Once you know these two, you are good to go, because JAMB is objective. You are not explaining theory. Then the angle between two acting force in acute is between 0 and 90, or obtuse between 90 and 180. Let me just drop the formula here. No need to waste your time. Just come here and write the resultant force. How to get the resultant force? F1 plus F2. This is what we call cosine rule. Okay, I think I wrote it here. F1 plus F2 minus 2F1 times F2 times cos. Take note now. This acute, they'll give you angle. Remember I said the acute angle is angle between 0 and 90. Let's say the angle is 40. Cos, where people used to make mistake is that they would just come here and write cos 40. No, it's cos 180 minus angle. Once you do this like this, you have gotten your answer. So R equals to what? F1 square plus F2 square minus 2F1 times F2 cos 180 minus angle. The same formula used for acute angle is the same one used for obtuse angle, but I said obtuse angle is between 90 and 180. So let's assume the obtuse angle is 130 here. You are still going to put arrow. The resultant is what? F1 square plus F2 square minus 2F1 F2 cos 180 minus what? 130. Take note, minus the angle. Many people, because they're rushing, JAMB will always set this trap. They're rushing, they just come here and write cos angle 180 minus angle. This is cos. Then if you are not looking for the, this is for resultant. Resultant is magnitude. Remember I said in a vector has both magnitude and direction. So after getting the magnitude, you now come and find the direction. So how do you get the direction? Your direction is like the angle. Like for instance, okay, I'll give you an example there. Arrow the resultant after you solve it over sine 180 minus angle. Let's say the angle is here is 40. You come here and write arrow over sine 140 is equals to F1. Take note, F1 over sine the direction angle. Are you getting it now? So is this one you are looking for, direction angle? I'm going to show you how to get it from one of the example. So this one is what we call sine rule. Just take note of the formula. Arrow over sine 180 minus angle, not sine angle. Always take note. This 180 minus angle and is different from angle. And the funniest thing in JAMB, if you use angle to solve, you will see your answer there. So take note, sine 180 minus angle is equals to F1 over sine direction. Then if you want to take note of another thing to take note of in vector is direction. Look at this: north, east, south, west. So if they say a bird traveling 10 meter north and then goes to 10 meter east, you come like this. These are these to do. And they can ask you question like this too. Then you now let's say for instance 10 meter, use this one as your resultant. or you can still do the same thing. If you want to do anyone you want to do, you can come here like this to still give you the same thing, arrow 10 10, then look for the resultant. I'm just giving you an example. So that is that for that. Once you know all this formula, you are good to go. So now let's go to example. They say an object is acted upon by two forces of 5 Newton and 12 Newton. Calculate the resultant of the two forces if the force are if number one, the force act perpendicular to each other. What did I say? Perpendicular means 90 degree. So from our formula, I just draw this drawing. You don't need to draw it if it's JAMB. Just come here. R equals to square root f1 plus f2, f1 square plus f2 square. That's how we get this one. What is f1? Sorry, you can rearrange it anyway, it doesn't matter. If you do the same thing to still give you the same answer, r equals to square root. What is f1? 5 square plus what? 12 square. What is 5 square? 25. What is 12 square? 144. 25 plus 144 is 169. Square root of 169 is 13. For those wondering how I got 13. Then if you want to get the direction, just do tan arc 5 over 12. Oh, I'm not with my calculator, that's why I not do this. So you can just solve for this. After you get it, you now write the direction is. What did I tell you this is? This is north, this is east. You can now write the vector is what? 13 Newton north. What is the direction? Let's say the direction, I'm just giving an example, but you can find this is 50 or 53 degree east. This is how vector look like. I'm also going to give another example on this. They say find the two forces. This we have solved for number one. They never ask us for direction, but I just did that as bonus. If the two forces act an angle of 40 to each other, if it has angle of 40 to each other, remember this law. Let me show you again. You will now be using what? Acute and obtuse, but it's the same formula. Acute is between 0 and 90, obtuse is between 90 and 180. So the two forces at an angle of 40 to each other. So what will you just do? I think here arrow equals to f1 square plus f2 square minus 2 f1 f2 cos 180 minus what? Angle. So see it here. 5 square. What is f1? Our f1 is 5 square plus 12 square minus 2 times 5 times 12 times cos 180 minus what is the angle? 40. Once you press all this thing in your calculator, note you need to know how to use calculator very well. You see, if you notice this thing together, 2 f1 f2 cos 180 minus theta, they are like on their own. So you press everything here first. You first do 5 square plus 12 square, you keep your answer on one side. Then you now do everything here. 2 times 5 times 12 times cos 140. Then after you get your answer, you minus it from this one. You get it? So I just use a calculator to press everything once. So if you can try it, you will get this answer. Then remember our formula. How do we get the direction now? I told you that direction, the formula for direction is arrow over what? Sine 180 minus angle. Just take note of all these things because in JAMB you might not have time and you need to be fast. Equals to f1. What is f1? 5 over what? The angle we are looking for as our direction, sine theta. Then from here, this is how our equation is. Okay, I've already written it there. 180 minus angle. What is our angle? 40. 180 minus 40 is 140. So what will you do? Cross multiply. We are looking for this theta. This theta is our direction. 16.15 sine theta is equals to 5 sine 140. Let me write it here so you will understand how I get it. I'm just trying to make you guys learn how to be fast, because in JAMB you need to be fast. Then how do we get sine theta? Divide both side by 16. Once you divide both side by 16, 16 will cancel 16. That's how 16.15 come here. So once you now get it, your own will be what? Sine theta equals to 5 sine 140 over 16.15. Then we'll now look for this angle. How do we get this angle? I told you, you just go to your calculator and press shift. I'm not with calculator because I've shown you, but you should know this if you are a science student, how to press an arc. then you put everything here. 5 sine 140 over 16.5. It will give you your final answer. So with this same way, solve for this number 3. If the two forces act at an angle of 125 to each other, so use this same formula and this same formula, and what, send your answer in the comment section. Let me know if you guys understand what I've been saying since. Are you getting it? Do you get it? Glory to God. So let's go to another example. So I've already give you the formula here. Just take note of all this formula. This is the formula to know for what do you call this thing now? For perpendicular, r equals to f1 square plus f2 square. Then for obtuse or acute angle, you use this one, and this one called cosine rule. Then this one called sine rule. Then remember the first one, if it's the same direction, you plus. If the force acting in opposite direction, you minus. As simple as this thing is. So let's check this one. A body of mass 20 kg is set in motion by two forces, 3 Newton and 4 Newton, acting at right angle to each other. Determine the magnitude of acceleration. First of all, if you don't know formula, you have already failed this question. Yes, that's why in physics you must read and practice to know formula. So the first thing first, they are giving us two forces. They say they act at right angle. I tell you, right angle is 90 degrees, also a perpendicular. So how do we get the resultant force? From our formula, f1 square plus f2 square. What is f1? 3 square plus 4 square. 3 square is 9 plus 4 square is 16. 9 plus 16, 25. Square root of 25 is what? 5. Then this is now our main force now, our resultant of the two force. Force equals to mass times acceleration. Force is 5, mass is 20, acceleration is what we are looking for. So 5 equals to 28. To get a, divide both side by 20. Once you divide it, you get 0.25 meter per second square. Very simple. This is how we use vector. Then another example, a man walks 1 kilometer due east. Remember I give you that direction. This is east, this is west, this is north, this is south. So they say a man walk 1 kilometer due east, 1 kilometer, and then 1 kilometer due north. You walk here again 1 kilometer. What is the displacement? The displacement is what? The resultant displacement. So I tell you, if it's JAMB, you don't need to draw those joints. You just come here. What is the resultant force? Square root 1 square plus 1 square. How do you get it? This is our f1, this is our f2. 1 square is 1, and 1 square is also 1. 1 plus 1, that is square root 2. Are you getting it? So r equals to what? Square root 2. This is the resultant. But in vector, we are looking for both the magnitude and the what? Direction. So how do you get the direction? I tell you before, don't stress yourself. Tan arc f1. What is f1? 1. What is f2? Tan arc 1 is what? 45 degrees. So know all this thing I want to write off for now. Sine 30 is what? 0.5. Cos 60 is 0. You must know it because in JAMB there's nothing like cos. You must know this thing off head. So learn it. Sine 60 is what? 0.866. Why cos 30 is 0.866? If you take note, sine 30 is cos 60, sine 60 is cos 30. So just learn all this thing. You will need this very well. Then this is an exercise for you guys. First of all, which angle is this? This is what? Obtuse angle. Angle between 90 to 180. This is your f1. I've already given you the expo. This is your f2. So calculate the resultant of the force, arrow. So drop your answer in the comment section so I can know you understand. So this is divine tutorials. So message me to join our free WhatsApp class 09153177154. So if you know this video was helpful, kindly comment, like and share this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It means a lot to us. God bless you as you do so.